set that up, yes. Right, folks. I fear I need to address something. And as the title suggests, internet trolls. Usually YouTube are pretty good at catching comments which are, let's say, not nice, or they contain swearing, or they're spam, whatever. I mean, even some simple swear words, it will hold the comment for review. Quite often it will automatically get rid of what it thinks is a spam comment, for example a selling site or something like that. But I don't know how many of you saw it, but there was a comment on the last ZZR video by a prick called Jim Tool. What an apt name. It was up there about 4 hours before I flagged it, and then I have basically made it so he can't comment on any of my stuff again. He'll have to make a new profile to do it. But interestingly, he'd been a YouTube member since 2017, but absolutely no content at all. So he's one of these that just watches YouTube and probably just spends his time firing off the odd comment, because there are a lot of people out there like that. I don't know how many of you read it. I'm probably going to misquote it, but the basic gist of it was, the first line was, well, look at the state of your workbench, that tells us everything. Yes, my workbench is messy because it's always being used, basically, and I don't always tidy up after doing one job because there's another job straight on it. Also, have you ever seen pictures of Einstein's desk, for example? Not that I'm Einstein, but you know, a tidy desk doesn't mean that you're better. The other thing he mentioned, I'm finding this quite difficult to talk about because it got under my skin, and I shouldn't let it get under my skin, because basically he's just one of these keyboard warriors that, in between sniffing little girls' bicycle saddles, likes to make harsh comments on videos. He's probably an absolute joy in the forums as well. So I shouldn't really let it get to me, but it's really the first negative comment in, well, we've been doing this way over a year, that I've ever had. Because the rest, you know, I'm fairly thick-skinned. I can take a jibe and I can take a bit of sarcasm as better to anybody, but for somebody that just doesn't know you, to assume how you do stuff and all this lot is just wrong. Because another thing he said was, you got rid of the ZX10 because you didn't understand it. You gave up on it, you didn't understand it. Wrong. Dream bike, never meet your heroes. Tick that box. Somebody else wanted it who loves them. He had a bike I wanted, got rid of. The new bike I am very, very happy with. It was understood to be a project, and it's a lot lighter and it's a lot easier to work on. And again, I've always wanted a ZZR6. So he happy, me happy, and it's got nothing to do with me not understanding that bike, because by that comment alone, it's obvious he's not watched any of the videos at all. He's just picking a video to comment on. Because as you know, we went completely all the way through that bike. It had been under a tree for 4 years, so to suggest that I didn't know it and I gave up on it, I find very insulting. And like, get over it, Jim. And another one was, oh, I feel sorry for the bikes that you've got now, because in your hands they're going to have a really short life on UK roads. Again, fuck off. You know, there's no evidence on your YouTube channel what you're capable of. As far as I'm aware, you could be some spastic in a mental institution, and that's how I'm going to view you. Basically, you're a disgusting little shit who spends his time just trolling on the internet, and we're going to leave that there. Right, that's got that off my chest. It did actually get under my skin, and I shouldn't let it, but it did. Anyway, I don't. Usually you can't see this bit of the workbench, depending on what angle the camera's on, but I've just had come in a pair of heated grips from the Bear. I will put the link in the description, because these were only, I'm sure they were only 15 quid, £14 something, and I thought I'll give them a punt. They do two different types. One that has the throttle tube in with the cable guides, and one that doesn't. And I wanted the ones that doesn't because I like to use original throttle slides. So of course they're Chinese because everything is made in China these days. But yeah, these are them. I need fluids thrown down my throat. Delicious. And this is the I was gonna say passenger side grip. It's probably me that should be in a mental home. It's the left grip, and that's your heat controller. Is just that. They look okay. This is the first time I've been in the box. I haven't been in a box in years. But yeah, they look okay. It's got like its little control-y box, stuff like that, and it looks like it's a simple splicing to the loom, or just put your connectors on and you know, put some battery terminal connectors on and cheapen up. So anyway, I've got two pairs because they're only like 14 quid. So yeah, so the theory is one's for the Z and one's for the Aprilia. I might even forget one, and the Aprilia's seat has got handguards, and I know they make a big difference. So I shall see. I shall no doubt get advice from my motorcycling brothers to let me know which one it's on. And here's Uncle Barnyard, ladies and gentlemen. Uncle Barnyard, Uncle Barnyard. Come on in. Show the people it's Uncle Barnyard. Hey, apparently there's cake coming your way in return for Barnyard Engineering Services Lawnmower Engine Rebuild System Limited.
You want me to bring it in?
No, you're right. You can. Well,
I've got it.
Bring it in.
I haven't got it all the way down. It won't go.
I don't think it does go all the way down.
No.
Yeah, bring it in then, and then I'll take it to Uncle Colin in the morning. That was Uncle Barnyard, ladies and gentlemen. There he goes. Off he goes. He'll be back in a minute. So anyway, yeah, heated grips. Other thing you probably can't see is this. It's a part for the airbox on the ZZR, along with this. And I'm going to do you a Blue Peter drawing in a minute. In fact, just while I talk to Uncle Barnyard, I'm just going to turn you off and then bring you back. And there goes Uncle Barnyard, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he's done Uncle Colin's lawnmower engine. So anyway, as I was saying, yes, these aren't plastic ram's horns or anything like that. They are part of the airbox system on the ZZR600E. And what these do... Oh, let's have a Rolf Harris moment. Probably not the best reference, Jim. But, you know, if you are of my generation, Rolf Harris was the man when it came to sketching. Not so good round kids, but sketching, very good. It's probably going to get me a YouTube strike. Anyway, what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to draw you the airbox of the ZZR600E, and then you can try and understand what's going on. In fact, I'm going to move you on top of the Miami Vice so I can hold this like this. So it'd be like Tony Hart. Here we go. There you go. Right. Whoop, let me shat myself. Right, so the 4 carbs are here. Look at that. It's brilliant. You already know they're carburetors. And then obviously the airbox joins them, and the airbox just goes like that. You've got your filter in there. It is actually even both sides, so I can't draw. Anyway, you've got an inlet here and here. And then what you've got at the side, which attaches to the fairing, is you've got some pipes there and there, and then attached to the fairing panel you've got a plenum either side. And then what happens is obviously the other end of this plenum is your ducting, which goes out like that. It looks nothing like this. Like I said, I can't draw, so you know. Anyway, just imagine that's the nose cone of the fairing. It's almost a Picasso. Draw a corn on it. No. Anyway, what happens is it's a properly pressurised system. The ZZR600E looked like it had ram air. It's not ram air. Where these go is right in the snout of the intakes. There's little metal, literally nostrils, and the little pipes that stick out, and they've got a hole, a fit in there. And what we've got on top of the carburettors, normally you have a vent tube, or sometimes it's also like an overflow sort of thing, but basically the bike's got to be upside down for it to be overflowing. Usually your float bowl overflow will be separate, but what we've got a union here and a union here, and they're joined with a rubber pipe which then goes along here on top of the airbox. And I thought, that looks a bit odd because it vents into the airbox, or it looks like it should vent into the airbox, and it actually does. But what these bits are, those are air valves, basically air check valves, and they come from here in the Y. Yeah, you've shown them loads of times. So let's imagine that there you go there. This is the headstock, and there, and then they actually join to this. Jim, that's crap. I know, but I'm not Tony Hart. What do you expect? You're talking to yourself. I know, but it's a sign of genius. Is it? Jeez, it's Scrabble. Duffel. Anyway, don't worry, I'm going to get madder as I get older. What happens is, as the bike's going along, sort of slow speed and all this lot, your normal air comes through the main ducting into the airbox, into the carpet tinklage as usual. At slightly greater speeds, this comes into play, and air will come through the nostrils, and it will go into the check valves, and then it will go into the tops of the carbs. And what that actually does is, as the bike goes faster, this pressurises the float bowl, making it a properly pressurised system. If any of this shite is missing, for instance, we're missing that, but we're not because I've bought it, but the bike was missing that, and it had a bit of the old silver tubing you use on air vents in cars and stuff like that. I believe this bit's missing, which is why I ordered this when I saw it. And there's a breather that comes up from the crank into the airbox as well, which I've now got. So basically, if any of this system isn't fitted, apparently they run like an absolute pig. It's almost impossible to get them to run right, and it's just a tiny bit. So this is why you don't see a lot of ZZR600E model Street Fighters, because they can't run the ram air system properly. So what I'm next going to be doing on the bike, I've put spark plugs in it, it fires up, and typical Kawasaki, it revs to like 6,000 RPM straight away if on full choke. I've looked at the foreskin forums, and it's totally normal, absolutely totally normal. It's not going to run correctly without the airbox anyway, but you can sort of get a rough idea of what's good. Basically what they recommend is only about like 5-6 mil of choke. Crack it up and it should bark off alright. Now, one thing I haven't set is the idle speed on the carburettors. I back that right off, and I can actually see the throttle plate. So I'm just going to gradually introduce more until the butterflies are slightly open, and then we're just going to see how we go. But we put the spark plugs in and it fired straight up. Obviously what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to plumb everything in correctly. So I'm going to take the side panels off, look to see what state the rest of the air system is. I think we've got everything we need. Build it all up, have a good look at it, build it all up, make sure it's sealed correctly, and then I'm going to rig up the fuel pump and stuff as it should be, and then we'll see how she does. So that's ZZR airbox lesson 101. I hope it made sense, because normally a bike airbox, basically you might have a little ducting to duct air from sort of the fairing or anything like that, but it's not really what you call pressurised, because by the time it's gone through the baffles and stuff in the airbox, it's still air basically, but the idea is it's drawing it from a colder source than round by the engine, and this is, like I say, it's a proper pressurised system. So yes, so I hope that made sense. Fucking didn't to me. No, it did to me. I went through the service data. I've got the proper service manual on PDF, and I had a bloody good read of it, a good look of it, and you know, read it, reread it till I understood it. But these basically with another little bit of pipe attached to where the little snouts are, and then it goes back. This pipe. This pipe is actually on the bike. Goes back, joins in there, and that's the system that pressurises the float bowls. So yes, I think I've explained that, Jim. You know I have. Anyway, in another box actually behind me is I managed to bag a pair of the correct rear footrests for the Aprilia. They are the proper ones for the Cube, and they're cast aluminium, and they come with the foot pegs and all that lot. I haven't opened the box because there's no need to yet. I was going to go in and fit them, but no, I'm going to chill out now. So that is your midweek mashup and internet troll rant, and trust me, I filmed more than one rant, because literally the day after I found it, it actually bothered me at night, and the day after I read his comment, I had a right good rant into camera in the car, which is really not broadcastable. So yes, yeah, you get the general idea. Is basically, he's obviously not watched any other videos. He doesn't know me. I certainly don't know him. And he just spends his time sniffing little girls' bicycle seats, and that's all there is to it. So anyway, guys, that's running long enough for a midweek mashup. There is nothing else to tell. Oh yes, I'm repainting the other caliper on the VFR. I'm hoping at the weekend I'm going to obviously put all the seals in, and hopefully at the weekend the rolling chassis part of the VFR will be done. Obviously it needs tyres, ideally, but the rolling chassis part will be done, and then I want to muck around with the fuel tank and get that all connected up properly and have it running off its own fuel supply. And then we'll have a look. I've just got a plastic welding kit with the proper iron on the end of the soldering iron, the plastic rods and all that bollocks, and I've got the plastic stable kit, and I just want to try some new techniques, doing some little fairing repairs. We've got a couple of little repairs to do on the VFR. There's one on the rear cowling, and one of the techniques is to put some fine wire gauze on the plastic and then sort of melt plastic over it with the soldering iron. So give that a go. Can't make them any worse than what they are, really. You can, Jim. So yes, so apparently according to this chap as well, I have the technical ability of a pencil. I do believe it was Carl that helpfully commented that I'm not that sharp. You're probably right. But my alter argument would be that great men who held pencils built the world. Isambard, Kingdom Brunel, anybody that designed the Spitfire, the Lancaster, etc., etc. You get what I mean. Draftsmen use pencils. Anyway, that's enough for now. Your comments invited. Yes. Next weekend, not this weekend coming, but on the 9th, it's Rustival down at Gaydon, and as far as I'm aware, circumstances dictating, I'm still good to go, and I may just take my alter ego, Jack Toft. So I've got to wash my boiler suit, comedy pipe at the ready, flat cap and silly glasses. Yes. I don't quite know what Jack Toft's role in all this is. He could have been a quality control inspector for British Leyland and Rover. Yes. So anyway, yeah, that's enough of me mucking about. Silly bastard. Anyway, catch you later. Thanks for watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, and let me know your thoughts on the old internet trolls, because it did get under my skin. You can't help it. And at one point I thought, bollocks to it, I'm just not going to make any more videos, but that wouldn't be good for the rest of us, would it? Ta-ra.